An old-time story tale. Once upon a time, in the year 2500, the world had become a vastly different place. Technology had advanced to a level that was unimaginable to previous generations, and life expectancy had skyrocketed. People lived well into their hundreds, and in many cases, even past their 200th birthday. With this increase in life expectancy came a new set of challenges. As people aged, their bodies began to break down, and they became more susceptible to illness and injury. The world had to adapt to this new reality, and so did the people who lived in it. One group of people who were particularly affected by this change were the elderly. In previous generations, it was common for people to retire in their 60s or 70s, and spend the remaining years of their lives enjoying their golden years. But in the year 2500, retirement was a thing of the past. People worked well into their hundreds, and many never stopped working at all. Despite this, the elderly were still highly respected in society. They were seen as wise and experienced, and their advice was often sought out by younger generations. They were also given a great deal of care and attention, with specialized medical facilities and technology designed specifically to meet their needs. One such facility was the Sunset Retirement Home, located on the outskirts of a bustling metropolis. The home was designed to cater to the needs of elderly people, with a focus on providing them with a comfortable and enjoyable environment in which to live out their remaining years. The residents of the Sunset Retirement Home were a diverse group of people, ranging in age from 150 to 250 years old. They came from all walks of life, and had lived through a vast array of experiences. But despite their differences, they all shared one thing in common: they were all old. One resident of the Sunset Retirement Home was a woman named Sarah. Sarah was 180 years old, and had lived a long and full life. She had been married twice, had raised 5 children, and had even traveled to space during her younger years. But now, she was confined to a wheelchair and relied on others for help with even the most basic tasks. Despite her limitations, Sarah remained active and engaged. She spent her days reading, painting, and socializing with the other residents of the home. She was known for her sharp wit and her ability to make even the grumpiest of residents smile. Another resident of the Sunset Retirement Home was a man named John. John was 210 years old, and had spent most of his life working as a scientist. He had made countless contributions to the field of robotics, and was considered to be one of the greatest minds of his generation. Despite his age, John remained sharp and focused. He spent his days tinkering with the robots that had once been his life's work, and was always eager to share his knowledge with anyone who was interested. But despite the many joys of life in the Sunset Retirement Home, there were also challenges. As people aged, their bodies began to break down, and they became more susceptible to illness and injury. The medical staff at the home worked tirelessly to keep the residents healthy, but there were times when even their best efforts were not enough. One such time occurred when a deadly virus swept through the home, infecting many of the residents. Despite the efforts of the medical staff, the virus proved to be too much for some of the more vulnerable residents. In the end, several of them succumbed to the disease, leaving the others to mourn their passing. But even in the face of tragedy, the residents of the Sunset Retirement Home remained resilient. They banded together, offering comfort and support to those who had lost loved ones. And in time, they emerged from